Blog Talk Radio. Hi everyone, this is Camille from sunny California.
Hi.
And you're listening to the Coffee Chat with Camille Show, which is a podcast series that interviews various guests about real life topics for people who love to learn.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm on there right now. Oh, there's a call-in number? Yes. Yes, one moment, please. It is 516 area code. Hold on one moment. I can't pull this up right now. Just one second. I was trying to get back in here. Let's see. Yeah, right here in the studio. Okay. So it's 516 453 9209.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. One more time? Okay. So 516 area code 453 9209. But I haven't introduced you yet.
Okay.
So you can take your time. Like
okay.
10 minutes is good. Okay? All right. Thank you.
All
right. Bye, Clarence. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Coffee Chat with Camille. That was our wonderful guest calling in. I just saw that I have a little typo in the guest description, so I'll go back and correct that. But our guest is Mr. Clarence Pointer, and he has been on before in season 2. So this is really a part 2 interview. And for this part of the interview, the questions that will be asked pertain to, it's just an extension of the first interview, and it will include who are the muses that our artist selects. Okay, so who are the Pencilmans? And in case you all didn't hear the first interview, the nickname for Clarence Pointer, the artist, he is a pencil artist, an optimum pencil artist. And then who are his muses? He does generally have really very famous historical artists. Okay, so our guest, Clarence Pointer, the Pencilman, is an expert on this topic because he's a living fine artist and an optimum pencil artist with a compelling artist story on the Coffee Chat with Camille Show podcast today. This is part 2 interview, and we're going to actually go ahead and get started since I have him on the line. Okay? All right. Hi.
Well, good afternoon. Good evening.
Hi. Good evening to you. Thank you so much for being my guest again. Such a pleasure to have you.
No problem. I enjoy it.
And so we're going to go ahead and get started on our interview. So how do you choose your models or muses?
How do I choose my subjects?
Yes.
Normally it's a commission request or one from my archives of my to-do list images.
Okay. And then who are you and what do you do? And I'm just doing this in case people didn't have a chance to hear your first interview. That's why I'm re-asking the question.
Okay, well, of course my name is Clarence Pointer, and they call me the Pencilman. I was born in Alabama started drawing at an early age, around 5 or 6, with a pencil, and pretty much stuck with just being a pencil. Yeah, I use colored pencils sometimes, but mostly 90% of my drawings are in black and white.
Excellent. And then, how do you work?
In a peace and quiet environment. At home, I have my own little area at home where I do my artwork from, and I find that to be soothing because I can home in on the time. I can do my drawing at the best time of the day, so I like the atmosphere.
Yeah. Perfect. And then, what is your background?
Oh, background. I said, the country boy from Alabama, escaped my little small town, which I'm proud of, but it's still a small town, by way of the Air Force. I did 10 years Air Force. I got out of the Air Force after about 10 years and started working in aerospace and in supply as a warehouse employee. And doing all of that, I still found time to do my drawing in, my practice in, right? So after being laid off in 2008, I decided to put my art into full effect, and I've been a full-time artist since 2008.
Okay, wonderful. And then I did have a question that I forgot to add, but I'm going to add it now. Can you please tell this wonderful story when you were stationed in the Air Force in Okinawa, Japan, about the master, the Japanese? I think it's about the... Yeah, that's a great story.
Several influences, but this one in particular was after several art contests enter. I would never win first, second, or third place. I would always win honorable mention. And it wasn't that my art wasn't good enough; just it wasn't good enough to meet that top tier. In the judge's eyes. But in the meantime, I was extremely busy. Art projects with drawing for my fellow Air Force members, different auxiliaries, and but one particular art contest I entered, this Okinawan guy, I can't remember his name. It's probably something Lee. Put him to the side and asked me, did I know why I wasn't winning? I was like, what do you mean? He said, well, I asked you a question. I said, okay, go ahead. Now, I'm 6'3", he's about 4'10", but he was full of knowledge, right? So he asked me, how much time do I put into my art projects? I said, well, I just like to get it over with, as fast as I can. And he said, that's why you don't win. You got to put more time into what you're doing. And you got to go beyond what you think is finished to another level of being finished, basically. And I was like, it kind of resonated. I computed what he was saying. It was relevant to the results I was getting. So that was probably, let's say, in 1987. I got to the States in 88. And then when I started applying what he was telling me initially, but my first art contest in the United States, I won first, second, and third place.
Wow.
So it behooves everyone to listen to someone whose skill level is higher than yours, or a skill level in which you want to arrive at yourself, because there's some truth in what they're saying. They're not just saying stuff to be hearing themselves talk. They're saying stuff for you to listen to, apply to your craft. So I learned what he said, applied what he said, and the results of what he said were prevalent to me winning more art contests thereafter.
Great. Thank you so much. And then what role does the artist have in society, in your opinion?
You know, art is like music, right? It's kind of like, it's soothing. It's to the eye of the beholder. No art is different from any other art. It's a positive, in my perspective. I want to produce positive art, and for you to get support in the arts, it can keep them busy, keep them out of the streets. You know, keep the mind on something other than anything negative. You know, after school programs should be prevalent all over the United States for kids to come and express themselves with the artwork, opposed to, you know, doing bad stuff. There's a lot of bad things you can do out in the world. But art is one of those things that is positive, and it's nurturing, it's relaxing. You know, it's all those things. You know, for me, I never had any trouble. I wasn't a troubled child or anything like that. Art, it was just something that kept me close to home growing up. If I was doing sports, I was at home drawing. You know, occupy my time with something that's productive. That could be something that could be beneficial later on in life.
Great. Excellent. And then what's integral to the work of an artist?
Repeat that question again.
Oh, what's integral to the work of an artist?
I'm not sure I follow that question.
No? Okay. It's okay. Explain. Oh, okay. Explain what you do in 100 words.
Okay. Well, I bring drawings of photos, ideas, concepts to life. I mean, like for any event, celebration, like graduations, weddings, birthdays, whatever reason someone wants to have something done, I create it in a way that they can appreciate it. They can pass it down from generation to generation. I've done generational images with like 3 and 4 and 5 generations. I love how I do it. I've been doing it for a long time, of course. But it's like one of those things where you gotta do what you was born to do. Mm-hmm. And I enjoy it. I'm swamped. I'm always busy. I'm never gonna catch up because I'm a perfectionist. So it takes me longer to do certain things. Sometimes it all depends on how I'm feeling, the mood I'm in. But it's great to be me right now in today's world, because you put your time into something and you start seeing the rewards from it, from the who's who to the any who. Doesn't really matter what your status is. You know, if you call upon me to get something done, if we meet in the middle there with if my prices are feasible, then I can get the job done. And I know my worth, and I tell other artists the same thing. I say, know your worth. Know that what you do, everybody can do. You know, it's not like artists are a dime a dozen of, not to compare or anything, but there are elite artists and there are not elite artists. There are artists that are up and coming, there are some that are established. It all depends on what you fall in that you can price your artwork to those who appreciate it. So I always tell them, just do you, and the rest will take care of itself.
Thank you. And then I said what's integral to the work of an artist, or like what's essential to the work of an artist? What's essential?
I think what's essential is keeping it alive. Keeping art alive. And with so much going on in the world today, you got, and for me, I'm a natural artist. I'm not this silly graphic artist or I can't say this. I just think art is essential by keeping it alive in every phase of the word. I mean, like, because for those who have a passion for doing what they do, it has to be supported by whoever. It's essential because it just brings beauty to the world. You know what I mean? Whoever observing it, regardless who've done it, and from yesteryear to now, it just keeps the world more beautiful and appreciative, and it gives that person who has the gift that God gave them opportunity to share it, to spread love and happiness and joy and all that good stuff. So that's my answer on that one.
Okay. And then how has your practice of art changed over time?
Let's just say that I always say people see the now, they'll know the was, unless you share the was with them. I mean, I've got artwork that I've done 40 years ago. And 40 years ago, 50 years ago, I thought it was good. But it just shows that you practice and focus on your art projects inch by inch, a decade, you should evolve to be better than you were when you started. So I've also posted going from yesteryear and to now, and I'm like, did I do that 40 years ago? You evolve. And that's when I like to share with other artists that you can't expect to be primo, elite, spectacular, marvelous overnight. Don't be discouraged because don't compare what you're doing to the level in which I'm doing. Everybody start off from point A, and a lot of people quit around L or M. They don't make it to X, Y, Z because they're discouraged. They don't get the support they thought they would get or should get, and they give up. So they don't qualify for my new word I made up a couple of years ago. It's called stay with the ability. It's all 4 words. Stay with it ability. If you don't have stay with ability, you'll quit. If you have naysayers in your ear, and they'll derail you from your goals and your dreams and your aspirations that you want to achieve in life. So you got to stay true to your gift and plow your way through all the madness, and you'll be okay.
Yes, that's excellent. And then have you ever done any other type of art style?
Well, yes and no. I've done a few murals. I did a mural when I was in Japan with this guy. He was the primary artist for the gig, but it was too big for him to do it alone. So he asked me if I would help him. Now, mind you, I had never painted anything in my life.
Yes.
And I lost the picture I had of it. It was a flag, a dove, an eagle, some clouds, and some wording. And I did the dove and part of the clouds, I think it was. And it was awesome. You know, I've done a LA Laker floor on the guy's three-car garage. That was awesome. You know, so I've done a few murals. I do some color pencil occasionally of recent, but no sculptures, watercolors, pastels, all that stuff. That's not my thing. I might venture into some other mediums because drawing is the foundation of everything else. You got to sketch it out, draw it out, you know, imagine it on paper. But once you capture the three-dimensional with the pencil, per se, then everything else will probably fall right in line. We will see eventually, maybe in the next year or two. I might try to do a sculpture or something. I'm not one to take classes and all that, but I watch some tutorials. You know, YouTube is full of tutorials. If you want to do anything, it's there to be seen to figure out for yourself, or take a class. We'll see what the future holds.
Yes. And then, what's your strongest artist childhood memory?
Childhood memory as an artist.
Yes.
I would say winning. You too young to remember this. Your mom probably remembers this. There should be draw me in characters in TV Guide magazines, little magazines. They had like a lumberjack, a pirate, a deer, several other little images from this art company in Minnesota. So you would draw the images and send it into their school, and they would judge it, and they would declare you the winner or not, or send you an application to join their correspondence program. Well, and you would win cash prizes. So I did it twice, and I won. The max was $25. That was back in the 70s. $25 once, and I won $15 the first time. And I thought it was a big deal. You know, so that was then in the same breath I was being entered into county fairs and stuff like that by my school teachers and stuff like that. So, you know, those are memories that last forever.
Yes. Excellent. And then what themes do you pursue?
Repeat that again?
Oh, what art themes or themes do you pursue?
Well, it's kind of like I pursue things that will bring in the Benjamins. By that I mean I try to, this is my full-time gig, I don't just draw things that I choose to draw all the time. I really kind of home into what the masses is going to want. For instance, like in sports, current events, what's hot, I try to stay ahead of the curve. For instance, when Tuskegee Airmen movie came out, I knew it was coming out. So a month prior to it being released in theaters, I started working on art project of Tuskegee Airmen. So by the time the movie was released, my drawing was already done. It was already being that day, the weekend of the release. I flooded social media with that art piece, and I sold a gazillion copies that weekend. So, and that, I've learned that from being in the military. Stay on top of current events, even in sports. Someone's breaking a record, or having a phenomenal year. I try to home into that and cater to those fans around the globe. Not just in my community, but around the globe that can appreciate what the player is doing. Or even so I just try to gauge what I'm doing based on what I think will bring the most revenue.
Okay.
That's not angry.
Yes, that's excellent. Okay, I'm gonna move around just a little bit. And I want to go into some commission questions. What was the story behind creating the art for Jane Kennedy Overton?
Well, in my age group of near 60, Jane Kennedy was like the Halle Berry, of today. Kind of for us at that age group, teenager, early 20s. Like she was like the word I'm looking for. She was the one that everybody admired per se. Well, that came about. It's kind of crazy. I had got called to do a drawing of Claire Robinson, and Claire Robinson is the first wife of Smokey Robinson. She was receiving an award at the downtown LA event, and they called me to create a drawing of her to present to her at the event. She had no idea what was going on. I get there, make a presentation, and whatnot. So that following evening, the person who had commissioned me to do the artwork posted on social media, and she tagged Jane Kennedy. Jane Kennedy and Claudette Robinson are best of friends. I had no idea. So I saw the comment. I was like, Jane Kennedy Overton. I said, wow. So I responded to her comment she made on the picture, and then we commenced to have a conversation on Messenger for about 30, 40 minutes. I thought, I'm actually chatting with Jane Kennedy. and she can draw as well. She has talent. She's not at the Pencilman level, but she has talent too, right? So about a week later, that someone had drew, and I said, nice job, or something like that. Then I messaged her. I said, if I did that, it would be off the chain. And she said, oh, yeah, if you did, it would be amazing. You're spectacular, phenomenal, blah, blah, blah. So I said, well, I'm going to do one, and I'm going to make it my own. You're not obligated to purchase it unless you really like it. And so I chose the picture that I wanted to do. I did it. I changed it up a little bit, made my own. And one morning, one Sunday morning about 9 o'clock, she was online, and I was like, if you see anything that needs to be adjusted, amended, modified, I get a better idea verbally. She said, here's my number. I'll be calling you in about 5 minutes. It's going to show up private, but it'll be me. So Jan Kennedy called my phone, and I was like, 15 minutes into the conversation, and she's so down to earth and so real, so genuine, right? Yeah. So about 15 minutes into the phone call, I was like, I can't believe I'm talking to Jane Kennedy. Did I say that out loud? And she said, yes, you did. So we corresponded back and forth. But the drawing, I still had the drawing because COVID happened and some of the things been going on. Schedules haven't met up yet. So probably this month, but it'll be delivered, and it won't be mailed. I could mail it a long time ago. This is gonna be a hand delivered Facebook Live presentation.
Wow.
So that's how it came to be, and you know, those kind of opportunities happen all the time because I try to stay in the public eye. If I get called to do an event, they know they can count on me to do it because I come through. You know, because you have to build your brand in every area you can. You know, within your possibilities of doing, and you can't rely on someone else to do it for you because it's not their brand that's being built; it's your brand that's being built.
Yeah. I just love that story so very much. Okay, the next one, and that's the first one you told me when I first spoke with you. Okay. So the next story that I would love to hear is behind Mr. the late now Dick Gregory. And
Dick Gregory, that one is because of a young lady named Hope Flood. She don't have these events anymore. She was having an annual comics convention. I think it was Comics Rock. I think that's what she called it. So every year she would have it. Well, not every year. The years I met her, you know, on social media, I would create a drawing for the keynote speaker for that event, that convention that year. Dick Gregory was the first one. Yeah, I only did two. I missed 1 year, but Dick Gregory was the first one, and it was downtown LA in Hollywood, someplace. She called me about that. I said, Dick Gregory. She said, yes, Dick Gregory. Dick Gregory. Yes, only one on Dick Gregory. So it was probably about a month before the event. She said, do you have time? I said, what's my name? So I get the drawing done, take it down to the event. Dick Gregory was there. I mean, like, sitting room only. In this, I can't name the place of the venue they had it, but it was sitting room only. He got on stage. I got actually called me on stage first before he came on stage. Paul Mooney, the comedian Paul Mooney's sons, were hosting that segment of the convention. So they called me on stage. I made the presentation to Mr. Dick Gregory. He was blown away, and he mesmerized the crowd because for that whole hour they spoke, it was comical, political, just entertaining, just full of knowledge. And it was probably about 3 years before he passed. So he had it for 3 years to enjoy that artwork that I created for him for 3 years, and we had a moment on stage. And then it was just one of those my second most presentation. There was only one that topped that one. I probably know which one it is.
Yeah, I think I want to say Miss Rosa Parks, but I'm not sure.
You probably will be correct. Yeah, that's nothing going to top that one right there. Bill Gregory was close. Andrew Young was close. I had a lot of close ones, but
yes,
nothing going to top that.
Yeah. That one is Yeah, when I saw that, took my breath away. I was just like, whoa, and then Dick Gregory and of course Jane Kennedy. Those three are just phenomenal. I mean, just phenomenal. Like, wow, like, because of who they are, their contributions to America. Just like, wow,
Yeah. Jane Kennedy. She's the first African American female to be on the cast of sports show. I think it was NFL Today or something like that. She's a pioneer. I mean, she's done, Miss Ohio. She's done a lot of stuff, but she kind of put her career on hold with the rest of her family. But she's still out there. She's still relative. She broke down some barriers that people are still excelling in right now.
They just, I mean, these people are just they're beyond. For me, they're just so beyond being proud of. It's just they're just, you know what I mean? Because I don't feel like I'm saying the right or correct word, but they just really make you know that, or help me to understand that we are not limited. That it's that we're really living in a country with limitless things that we can do anything we put our minds to if we have the ability and we reach. So because I think about the time periods too, and I just say, wow, like, how are they able to do that?
Like Rosa Parks, she was a small woman. I mean, and people recognize her for the bus incident, but she did a whole lot of stuff prior to that. I mean, I won't get in details, but all I gotta do is Google her and see what stuff she did, and to know that she was gonna be coming to my area for Black History Month in 1992 or 3. It was like Rosa Parks is coming to my area, and I asked my wife, I said, I got to do a drawing of Rosa Parks and present it to her in person. And she said, how are you going to do that? I said, I don't know. All I know is God's going to make it happen. So I was about 99% done with the artwork. And I get a call from NASA, and Mr. Art Nash was like, Clarence. I said, yes. He said, I've been speaking with the auxiliaries, African American Council and all those auxiliaries, and was wondering if you had time to do a portrait of Rosa Parks for the luncheon we're having. I was like, well, my time is kind of tight right now, but I think I can make some time to get it done. He said, we're going to pay you X amount of dollars. I said, that's fine. I said, but I have one stipulation. He said, what's that? I said, it has to leave my hand to her hand, not some 4-star general or big wig hotshot. From my hand to her hand. And if that can happen, we have a deal. He was like, I don't see a problem with that. So I said, great. I'll be back tomorrow to pick up my check. So, and all I did pretty much after that phone call was sign my name. I was pretty much already done already. So about 2 weeks later, I go to the event, make a presentation, and she said, oh, this is so lovely, young man. I got a kiss on the cheek from Rosa Parks. And it sounds great right now. It gets ugly. Cameras were flashing and all that, and I just knew the next week my picture was going to be in the paper on the military base paper. Everything in the paper but my picture, Rosa Parks. And I was like, and we even had a black editor of the newspaper. I just knew my picture was going to be in the paper. So that Friday when it came out, it wasn't in the paper. I was like, all that I did and not even the paper. I was really upset. I was hot. Mm-hmm. So God was like, go to the newspaper facility and ask if they have a negative of your presentation. I didn't want to go because I forgot if I went and I saw her, I was going to go off and say something I shouldn't say or whatever. He said, go between 12 and 1 o'clock. She probably be at lunch. So I went between 12 and 1 o'clock. She was at lunch. I got the negative. I asked the guy, do you have a negative of the event? Yeah, one negative. And I got that negative, and what you see on social media is from that one negative that I got from the event. So I have no idea where that negative is right now, but I made sure I got about 10 copies of that particular negative, and years later, social media comes about, and I can use that negative, that image on social media to validate what I say. A lot of times people say a lot of stuff, but they don't have no validation for what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think I'm the only guy on the planet to ever do a portrait of Rosa Parks and present to her in person. I haven't seen anything else on social media, on the internet rather, of anybody making a presentation to Rosa Parks of an original drawing that they created for her. So I stand alone.
Well, congratulations to you. That is such a powerful image. Really, really wonderful. So I have let's see, we have 16 minutes.
Okay.
But I did want to ask about two more of your pieces. One is of Kobe Bryant, because I feel we lost him just far too soon, and also of Nipsey Hussle as well.
Okay.
So just the background on those two pieces.
Yeah, the Kobe piece came on because I was a huge Lego fan. I was a Lego fan probably in the mid-'70s. Some of the greats I watched on television. I've been to a couple of games. But Kobe was like one of those unique players who was all about winning. Brought the best of his players he had on his team. And I did 3 drawings of Kobe. In 2008, 2010, and about 2017. So all done prior to the past. And all 3, well, 2 of them were a commission request from fans. I enjoyed doing. One had all his stats on his career, like that. It's funny. I mean, I know he never got a chance to see those drawings he did. I don't think, but I had a friend who he really made me upset when he told me. He had the picture of Kobe on his phone. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was sending my drawings up to his phone. He always took them out and stuff. He had on his phone, and one day, him and his cousins were somewhere in L.A. at a food market or something. Kobe was there. Mm-hmm. They talked to Kobe for about 3 or 4 minutes, and he didn't show him the picture on his phone. He didn't think about it until afterward. He was talking to me. I said, so he was right there sitting there talking to Kobe, and he had the picture on your phone, thinking about to show it to him. He said, oh, man, I forgot. I didn't think about it. I thought it was kind of hilarious. But But Kobe was one of my all-time favorite players. I enjoyed doing those drawings for the fans. And I was trying to get that to him so he could see himself, but it didn't work out. But I'm just glad to be able to share it with the fans so they can acquire if they want some. Nipsey Hussle one, honestly, I didn't really know who Nipsey Hussle was.
Yeah, me too. Until he passed.
Well, I knew prior to him passing, but not fluently. I knew of him, but I didn't really know all he stood for. And I don't do a drawing when someone passed right away. I let time go by, unless it's. But in this case, it was about 6 months after he had passed, and his friend was wanting one for his wife. And I was like, he couldn't afford the original. I said, well, I'll tell you what, I'll create one, and because I had planned on doing one anyway, and you can just get one of the limited edition prints. So that's how that came about. And as I'm doing it, I'm researching him. I'm reading. I try to research people if they're famous or influential prior to doing their artwork, so I get a better feel for who they were and what they stood for and stuff like that. And he wasn't squeaky clean kind of guy, but as he evolved, he was doing good for the community. So I was honored to do that, create that, and have the original still in my archives. So I'll probably use it as a what's the woman for? Shucks. I love my train of thought. The NFT. I might use that as NFT item. Yes. I enjoy doing things that's relevant, that's meaningful, that can carry on the legacy of a person. Not necessarily someone's famous, but anybody, anyone in particular. Someone's favorite uncle or favorite granddad or mother or whatever. It doesn't really matter. As long as what I do can withstand the test of time and can pass down from generation to generation, that's my objective.
Okay, thank you so very much. And I have more questions, but I'm going to save it for your next interview. and for that one, we're going to be what is it? Not Skyping. I always want to say Skype. It's not Skype. It is on YouTube on my channel. So for that, so I'm going to say, because this is like 3, 4, 5, just however many times, because I just feel like you have so much to share, and you are the most gifted artist I've ever met in my life. And I'm serious. A living artist for me is just like amazing. I mean, I do art as well, but I just admire, and my dad was the only other male artist that I've ever known. You're the second behind him. And so, and my dad now suffers from dementia. He's very young. And so, it's like meeting a real artist, having met one like yourself, is truly like a dream come true. I'm not joking. And so, I'm
gonna drive down to Bakersfield one day, and break bread with you. I'm serious. Okay. About an hour away. When I have my next Mercedes tune-up, I'm gonna drive down and we'll break bread.
Yay! Is that a meetup? Like, is that considered like a meetup? When you say break bread?
Have lunch or something.
Lunch. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so
Yeah.
okay, we have a deal.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. So when that and I thank you so much for coming on my show. This is just glorious. This episode is going to be on uploaded. It automatically goes over to my website, and my website is coffeechatwithcamille.com. That's where all my guests show up. And I do finally have one sponsor, which I'm so thrilled about. And I do have the international following at this point. So I'm very thankful to the listeners. Yes, so they're in Canada now, South America, Brazil, in Portugal, Germany, China. No, wrong. I apologize. Not China. Japan, Philippines. I can go on and on. Australia. But so we're getting listenership, and so I'm very, very thankful. And it started with guests just like you, because you're like on my second season. So I am very happy right now, and I just want to keep it moving. Also, I have started my own. It's pretty much like we have 7 minutes, so I did want to share this with you, and also ask if it's okay if I write a brief article in my coffee journal. It's called Coffee Journal. It's under Substack, and I'll send you over a copy, and there I write my thoughts about my interviews with various guests, and I share that too. Yeah, I share that too with the world, and it's under, it's like my press release. So I'm also doing that as well. And last but not least, I will be going to one of the Oscar parties, and that's going to be March 16th. And the reason I'm going is so that I can hopefully be able to do some interviewing, not just the Oscar winners and all that, but also to the audience members to see how they feel about if they attended, who their favorite stars are or celebrities are, because I still do my journalistic thing over here on the side. I'm very new at it, but I'm getting myself out there. And I have a mentor. He's actually an Emmy Award-winning media mogul. So he's the one that's helping me, too, because I
get your press pass. So you in there.
I have it.
That's right.
Yeah. I definitely have my press pass. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have all my press credentials. I'm new. I got my international everything.
That's awesome.
So I am doing what I am meant to do, I feel, and just doing it all positive. I just want to put out.
That's very important to do what you was meant to do, and it's just very fulfilling.
Absolutely.
If I want a day off, I just go in the bathroom, look in the mirror, and say, "Boss, can I have a day off?" And the reflection says, "Absolutely." So that's really something that it says a lot in itself. Because people ask me all the time, what does success mean to me? And I just tell them, taking my butt to bed at night when I'm tired and sleepy, and waking up when I'm well rested without an alarm clock telling me it's time to go to work. Now, if you're going to work and you enjoy what you're doing, that's successful too. If you're going to work and you're not getting any kind of fulfillment, you dread going, that's not success. You're just working to pay the bills. So I'm not living large by no means per se, but I enjoy what I do, and I get a fulfillment of what I'm doing. So that's, to me, that trumps, the big house on the hill, the lavish lifestyle and all kind of stuff. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that, but happiness, fulfillment, and being passionate what you do is more relevant to me.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you, listeners, to listening to this great episode with a phenomenal world-class artist, Mr. Clarence Pointer. And we're going to wrap it up with his last words, everyone. Thank you so much again. Bye for now. Thank you, Clarence. Thank you so much.
Care.
Bye. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.